What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. And something I wanted to just throw out here, a quick little mining video. I've been mining ERGO for probably like 6 months now. And before I was just using it on some of my older cards. I was using it on some 1050 Ti's that I've had that I picked up really dirt cheap, and some of my 580 cards. But I mean, if you haven't watched what ERGO's been doing lately, we're seeing some really good bullish price appreciation. And so what I'm personally going to be doing is I'm going to actually swap over one of my 3000 series cards. And before, what I was doing was I was mining ERGO. My son has a small little gaming rig that we set up in his room. And ERGO isn't a very hot algorithm. So it wasn't a huge issue in his room. And that's why we stayed with ERGO. But what I'm going to be doing is in the mining tent, and I'll drop that video that I did on the mining tent we set up above. In the mining tent, the top platform or the top shelf of the mining rig is always the hottest. And I noticed that the way I was setting up my rigs, I had this rig in particular, my Thor rig, mining Raven coin, and it was just way too hot up there. I was getting some of my cards shutting off because of temps. So I'm actually going to be swapping that entire rig over to ERGO. And, here's the rundown. And I'm going to give credit to another YouTube creator that I came across a while ago, but he actually did half the work for me already. And just kind of breaking it down. So ERGO right now, it's at $5.26. It is, again, it is ranked 236 in market cap. I do feel that between Flux, ERGO, and Raven coin, when Ethereum goes proof of stake, I think we're going to have, as miners, I think we're going to have a good opportunity to start really diving into some of the other algorithms. What I've got going, you can see right now, it's actually increased. You've got a couple more exchanges that are picking up ERGO. The Qcoin's the one that I mainly use if I'm going, and I haven't sold any of my ERGO yet. I've just been holding it. And so I mean, I'm pretty happy with what's going on. You can go over to their website. They've got 3 different types of wallets you can use. I'm using the Yorori one that is just a Chrome extension. I haven't set up a node on it yet. I will eventually as I start to create a little more. But let's dive into it. So the reason why I'm looking at sending this over, my Thor rig in particular, if you come over here and just take a look, so I've already done custom ones for my 3060s, 3060 Ti's, and 3070 Ti, which is kind of what I've got on this Thor rig. And on a 3060, just doing a average profitability and average revenue for the last 3 days, when we calculate it, you'll see that actually ERGO is the top coin right now. Ethereum coming in at $1.57, $1.29 after power, but ERGO's right there at $2.10. And I've even started to dive in. I've got my 3080 Ti, which is making about close to 1,100 Conflux coins a month. I've got on my on my gaming rig, just mining a couple CFX, but ERGO is really starting to take off. And again, it's not a very hot algorithm. So here in sunny South Florida, where I've got my mining rigs, all of my cards but 3 are in a mining tent in my garage. It's really starting to really to get hot in there in that garage, over 100-degree temps. So that mining tent is actually helping out. I'm getting my cards, below the 100 mark. And so the 3060s, you're going to see, $2.10, $1.82 after power. And I've got 3 3060 Ti's in this rig that you'll see are, again, same thing. Ethereum down here at $2, ERGO at $2.47, and just the after power, $1.69 versus $2.20. And then going on over to my 3070 Ti, which is the last card I've got in that rig, and you'll see that same thing, right? ERGO's really taken off on it. And I think as the profitability of Ethereum continues to dwindle, we're going to see some of these other altcoins kind of just really take over. And on that 3070 Ti, you can see Ethereum at 261, 213 after power, and I'm making almost 70 cents. It is 70 cents a day more on ERGO. So where before I had, so in this rig right here, it's a total of 6 cards on that rig. And I've got two 3060s, three 3060 Ti's, and a 3070 Ti, right? Where before I had it strictly just mining, it was dual mining actually, Ethereum and Alephium. And as Alephium is just starting to really dwindle in rewards because of the, of the hash rate that's being put onto there. So, and the difficulty rating skyrocketing, you can see that Ethereum on this card, I was doing 1175, 978 after power per day. And Ergo is up to 1485 and $13. So it's almost, I would say like a $3.70, well, almost $3.50 more a day just by going to Ergo. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to jump over here to HiveOS, and you can see I've got it. I've just thrown this on. I haven't even touched the overclocks yet. I've thrown it on into HiveOS on Ergo. I am mining to hero miners. That's just one of the pools that I've been using on Ergo for a while. And I'm actually going to start with T-Rex Miner. I'm going to come over here to T-Rex Miner, and I'm going to use the latest version. All right, I'm going to use the latest version. I'm going to run all the cards, and we're going to see what we're doing on just the Ethereum overclocks. And I do have some other overclocks that I use strictly for Ergo, but we'll go ahead and send this off. All right, so here we go. We are in T-Rex Miner. And you can see, all right, so 3060s are at 132. The 3070 Ti is at 157, and 3060s are at 68, which is not very good. Not something that I'm looking. So let's bounce back over. I'm actually going to change this up. So I'm not going to use my Ethereum overclocks for my 3070. I'm actually going to come in here, and I am going to use -502 and 2400 memory. Power limit is going to be 170. We're going to send that off. The 3060s, I'm sorry, 3060 Ti's, this is kind of what I've been liking, 1350, 2000 with 0 on the power limit. And you can see some of these cards now, all these 3060 Ti's, the reason I threw these into this rig is because they're all Hynix memory. And my Samsung memory just gets tremendously more higher hash rate on Ethereum. And you can see this one here, this one Zotac, which is exactly the same card. So this card right here and this card right here is that 3060 Ti Zotac. And there's just such a huge difference between these two. All right, so let's come over here. I'm just going to see that 3070 Ti, what it actually looks like it's doing on T-Rex Miner. We'll see if it could pick up some hash. You can see it's just not really getting up there. It's not unlocking on it on the 3070 Ti. And we're just really dwindling here on this Zotac. Now, these two cards right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them off, and I'm going to move it to 1500 core. I'm going to throw it at 2600 memory, no power limit. And we'll see if that can start to really get up there. Because these 3060s should be getting us a little over 100. All right, so we could see this is just, we're not getting anywhere with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to actually change it from T-Rex Miner to NBMiner. And we are going to go with the latest update on it. We're just going to see. So we're running NBMiner 40.1. Just see here what we can do here. All right, so you could see these two 3060 Ti's doing so far so good. I want to see if these 3060s can get up here to the 100 mark. And this 37 Ti is just not doing it at this overclock. So we'll have to tweak that. Okay, so now, and again, this is something I got from TPS Miner on YouTube. He just started dabbling around with some older versions and coming back over to NBMiner, right? If you come over here and we go to version 39.5, right? And if I come over 39.5, you can see this was back in September 2021. This was the first NBMiner update that had the LHR mode. And now there's a couple of things in here, right? So LHR mode, they talked about the, you're going to have to put this argument into the extra nodes. But for GPUs with Hynix memory, it says that LHR mode is not recommended for poor performance. GPUs with non-Hynix, which unfortunately are all of these cards on here. That's why it's a rig of just Hynix memory. For 3060, 3060 Ti's, 3070s, try with the LHR 85, right? And for GPUs with GDDR6X memory, 3070 Ti, 3080 Ti, start with LHR of 100. All right. So essentially what it's doing is as it uncovers a lock, it'll just decrease it by 0.5, right? 0.5. So that's what we're doing here, right? I came over and you could see everything's the same. The only thing I did was come into arguments and I just threw LHR and I threw 100. I'm going to start with 100, even though that I have some 3060 and 3060 Ti cards in here. All right. And as a result, you can see now what I've come up with is, I mean, we're getting really, really nice results on it. You could see that these 3060s have now bumped up to 116 mega hash with a 95 watt, which is actually doing really, really well. The 3070 Ti has been bumped up using the same core clock that I was using on that T-Rex to 177. And you could see the one Zotac that was giving me issues. I actually kind of tweaked it a little bit. I dropped the memory down to 1800 from 2000. And you could see, I mean, 88 watts. Now this is not at the wall. I'm not going to go there and throw the kilowatt meter on each individual card. But it's actually doing very, very well. It's been holding for a while. You could see this has been up and running now for about 14 minutes. It took a little bit of time for the LHR to start unlocking, but just looking at it here on the miner, you can see that we are finally good to go. It's tweaked itself. Again, it took about 10 minutes for it to find the right settings on the LHR. But I'm overall happy with it. I am going to drop these two cards, the ones that are doing about 132 mega hash. I'm going to drop the memory down to 1800 just to see, but you could see the efficiency here has really just bumped up. And that one card that was giving me the worst issues, that Zotac card, is actually the most efficient card on this right now with that Hynix memory. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to let this run. This is going to be the new ERGO rig. It's the Misfit Hynix memory cards. And traditionally, the Hynix memory ones for me have just been a nightmare. But on ERGO, it's been doing pretty well. I'm going to keep it on this 39.5 NBMiner and go from there. And again, you know, we're seeing just significant bumps in this. If you go just looking at this 3060, right? The 3060 for me was getting about 115 mega hash, but about 115 power. So, you know, we just come over here to look, and these, we'll just update this. So you can see on Autolycos, I was getting about 115 with 115 at the wall. And what can change that to 115 at 95? And you'll see that we're actually doing pretty well with this. You know, it's about $2.10, $1.87 after power, just blowing Ethereum out of the water here, about almost a good 50 cents more per day. and coming back over to the 3060 Ti's at 135 at 80. We'll just say 90. Well, yeah, we'll say 135 at 90. And you know what we're seeing on that. Let's see, Autolycos 135, and we'll just change this to 90, 94. And again, this is just blowing Ethereum out of the water for profitability. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I give credit to TPS Miner for coming across this. You could see 247 per day, 224 after power. And then that 3070 Ti finally just bouncing up and doing a phenomenal job. So I'm pretty happy with it. Again, I'm going to lower these memories, kind of tweak them around, see if I can get that extra mega hash out of it. And you could see it's starting to get just a little more power here, but again, I am perfectly happy with the results of this, and I'm going to let it run. You know, it's up now almost, let's see, we're creeping up on almost the 20-minute mark on this. So, and it's been pretty stable. So, again, NBMiner, the 39.5 that came out September 2021 is the one that I am using. I've kind of tweaked around with some of the other ones. You saw that the most recent edition on T-Rex and NBMiner really just the LHR wasn't unlocking the way it should. So I liked this one here coming in and putting in that argument of LHR. And I started with 100. I know it says to start with 85. I just started with 100, let it work itself down. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next video.